You know what I think about when I play tabs and I pick the catapult? I think to myself, man, that's a gorgeous castle. Let's destroy it. But you may notice that you can't destroy the walls in tabs. The doors are invincible. This beautiful stone structure is invincible. Wait a second, that wall looks a little bit different. Let's see what happens when we fire a rock from a catapult, which is a medieval siege equipment designed to destroy walls. What's going to happen, do you think? Well, if you guess that we've come up with a mod that we can create our own physics and destructible structures, oh yes, it's like Battlefield Bad Company. The best of all the battlefields, except it's totally accurate. This is tabs, baby. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, wait a second. That's quite an impressive mod you've created there, Baron. And you'd be right. There's a lot of things that we got to show off today, including fully functioning castles a little bit later. But one thing that I want to do, though, is test the different siege equipments that are available in tabs. So if we fire this at 3 walls... By the way, you gotta appreciate tabs. Ragdoll physics, baby. It just never gets old. So can one catapult rock smash through 3 walls? Let's find out. Stay tuned next time for Mythbusters? Was that? Yeah, that's what the video, the series was. That's pretty dang impressive. It collapsed 3 walls. How about 5? All right, so here it is. Does it penetrate all the way through? It does indeed, and this man is getting buried by blocks. Now, unfortunately, since this is a mod, there's gonna be some interesting things that happen, which you'll see. But you know what? It's all fun and games. What about 10 walls? 10 walls versus 1 catapult. I know, we don't have trebuchets, so we can't use them. You know what? These walls may not be the strongest, and we have absolutely buried that poor little bard. But the front walls, some of them did survive in parts, which was pretty interesting. So you're gonna notice, though, that the catapult will continue to fire, almost like he thinks the wall is an entity. But look at that ability to absorb. Needless to say, the thicker the walls, the greater the chance you will be able to defend against the catapult. So with 5 walls thick, let's try some other siege equipment out. There's quite a number of it. Like, you'd think with siege equipment, we would actually have proper sieges. Let's fire a ballista. I don't think it did anything. Did it go through the stones? Oh, look at that penetration power. Okay. You see that way over there? That's one of our bricks. All right, so let's see this in slow motion. What can a ballista do against 5 walls? I'm expecting it. I want to see both sides of the wall because I anticipate... Oh! The poor bard got taken out. So one of these blocks flew all the way through. It's like each level pushed one behind it. And you may be thinking, you know what, though? Remember the pirate cannon? I mean, cannons have to be better. If cannons were the reason that the walls of Constantinople fell, then surely they could break these walls. But I've noticed something about tabs cannons. They're not that good in terms of dealing with siege walls. This one didn't even knock the brick out. So needless to say, these poor pirates will have a very difficult time. And the bard is being a true military engineer. He's trying to repair the wall during a siege. Now that would be some next level stuff if there was a proper castle mod and engineers could repair the walls. But there you go, eventually they'll get through. And you're like, hey Baron, what about that bomb cannon? That the secret pirate unit, the bomb cannon. Well, let's see what explosives do to a wall. Honestly, not that much. I think it's more anti-personnel. It's kind of like a high explosive with, I believe, shrapnel or maybe just fire damage. But it does nothing. So far, the best siege equipment is still a catapult. Now, I'm not sure, but this looks pretty thick and those stones are probably very heavy, right? So you'd think that maybe a natural disaster like a tornado wouldn't be able to destroy it. But let's see how it would do not only against siege equipment, but natural disasters. Unfortunately, the tornado is confused. It has eaten all of its cheerleaders, and it's afraid of the wall. So, needless to say, I think the wall is tornado-proof. I actually did not anticipate that at all. But it's totally accurate, remember. One of the other things we can use as siege equipment to see is firework archers from the Dynasty faction. They've got a lot of force, and they literally carved a way through the wall. This is amazing that we can just, like, move through it. The bard got buried. That one brick took all of the fireworks. And as a result, they just absolutely destroyed it. So I think firework archers are going to be far more effective. Although on a one-to-one basis, the catapult still reigns supreme. But there are bomb throwers, right? Throwing these little pirate-like grenades out, and those are explosive. If the bomb cannon couldn't do anything, can a pirate bomb work? It doesn't seem to be so. But what if we added, oh, I don't know, 20 of them? Maybe the combined concussive force of all of these little bomblets could destroy the wall. I mean, it kind of moved the wall back. If you look from a bird's eye view, oh, look, we have a collapse on the backside. It pushed enough to where it collapsed it. Now remember that these aren't proper walls, so to speak. It's just supposed to be a single wall. Now in the future, what we're looking to do is make it so you can rotate these walls and maybe they could even snap into place. But if you have other suggestions for what we could do with these bricks and castle walls in the tabs mod, let me know in the comments below, and what other mods you'd love to see, because we can do anything we want. Sort of. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, Baron, that's a cool wall, but nobody could even stand on it. And isn't that the whole purpose of a castle? And I'm glad you asked, because that is the purpose of a castle wall. Look at this. Now, it's got a little bit of a tunnel in between it, which is kind of cool. And we can't move the camera, and I don't think we affect the physics. We're affected by it. But there's a question. You know, it's like, why are these things up there? And I think it's pretty obvious, but let's go ahead and show why. And also, I feel like guys need to be standing on here for it to be a true castle, don't you? Now that is a castle wall. Medieval archers, prepare to defend against the invasion. Now, most of them are pretty well protected by these little outcroppings here. The ramparts. There are 15 archers up here. Some more exposed than the others. So, if we were to put 15 archers down here, what would happen after the first salvo of arrows from both sides? Who would take the most losses? Let's find out. So we're gonna be doing this in slow motion. So everybody's fired, although one of them's like, hey, maybe the castle's a person, which is something we're working on. So look at this. We'll pause time. Arrow to the hand, arrow to the chest, arrow to the rib cage, arrow to the heart. Wow, that's a good shot. Lots of dudes. There's 1, 2, 3 soldiers that survived that skirmish. Now the dudes up on the castle? One guy got killed. Another guy got killed. 4 guys got killed over here, meaning 11 survived. And only 3 survived. That is why, when you attack a castle, it's really good to be the defender. You're gonna stay alive a little bit better. And yes, I'm excited for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. If you guys are excited for that, let me know. Who wants me to make a series out of Bannerlord? So, the next salvo of arrows is going out. Because Bannerlord's kind of like, it's like a siege simulator almost. For some odd reason, Blue got to fire first. Maybe because Littlehead here has magical powers, or he inspired his team. He's like, if I can do it, you can too. All right, so we will double the number of archers now. So now we've got 15 archers defending against 30 on the ground here. I think Blue's gonna have a much harder time. It seems the only ones that were really hit were the ones that were exposed, but we can see by the number of guys who fell off the wall that they suffered 1 more this time, and the same 3 survived. It's really interesting. I guess some of them must have doubled up on targets. So Blue should, if last was any inclination, oh man. Yeah, needless to say, Red is having a very difficult time. What I would be kind of curious about though, oh my god, they caused a wall collapse though. These walls, we should probably make a sturdier version, but can't you appreciate the structure? The ingenuity, the engineering feats that went into creating this beautiful beast here. So, Blue's getting rocked because half their wall collapsed. Oh god, the other half collapsed. Physics does what physics does. Now, what would happen if they fired Hawachas? I think actually what we're gonna need to do is put a dude way back here so the archers, after they kill these Hawachas, it doesn't end. So here we go. Ooh, yeah, that's called death. That is not working as intended. Or is it? Then I think for this test, what we're gonna need is a few good shieldy boys in the front to attract the arrows from the archers because we really want to see how Hawatches are going to do. They were able to take out 2 of the guys. One of them hit the main section of the wall. Oh, this is an interesting question. Shield wall versus real wall. Timber! We've got a collapse on the west wall. Someone fired an arrow like so far in the sky, I think we lost it. Oh, that wall collapsed at the perfect time because those guys were able to dodge those arrows. And look at that. Siege equipment lasted. But you know what's better than bows and arrows? Chuko news. These things can fire multiple crossbow bolts. So I'm actually pretty curious to see how these things do. Are they able to knock over the physics? They seem to have done a lot more damage. They're even pushing the top level of that wall over, causing a collapse. This guy broke from, he had his knees broken, and he decided to surrender. Wait a second. That's illegal. I was like, oh, a stone must have fallen out of the way. Did he fire through that? Well, I might need to fix that. Oh, okay. I think these cracks, they may be a little wider than we think, or there's a lot of Vaseline on those arrows. So 1 archer versus 1 Chuko Nu. Who wins the battle? Chuko Nu, aim higher. Oh, well, we'll call it a draw, gentlemen. 14 archers on the right, 14 archers on the left. Gentlemen, you may fire when ready. Now that they're all on the same level, it seems to be a little bit more equal. Everybody's dead except for this blue guy. You, sir, you win. You're king now. Now listen here, Baron. YouTubers sitting on their computers distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Whoa, dude, chill out, man. What if I gave you a castle? Would you want to be king then? Actually, yes. I would like a castle. I mean, well, Sir Reginald, we gave you a castle. You've even got beautiful blue flags and quite an impressive rampart system. You're even on an elevated foundation. And who is inside your castle? Hiding from us? Are you keeping fugitives of the law? If I'm the king, then I'm the law. Well, if I make my own flag, then I'm my own king. I'm the Red Bulls now, obviously. Well, this is quite a pretty impressive little outpost that the Blue Empire has put in before us. So now it is time to decide what army should I use to siege this. Well, I'll have you know I recruited some of the finest Spartan mercenaries in the world. And I have quite an impressive army. The Red King comes to reclaim his throne. 4 siege catapults. You may have ballistas in the castles, but if we look at the score here, it's 51 units at 14,000 versus 27,000 units. Now, I'm not sure the numerical values of the castles when I was putting them up. I wasn't paying attention. So let's see if my army, a small detachment for a small outpost, can overthrow the king. Now, the objective here will be to take down all 3 towers and eliminate all of the enemy people. So our first stone goes out. It'll probably crack this wall, but there's a very strong foundation behind it. The left wall is looking like it's going to fall. But unfortunately, one of the issues here is stone walls are kind of like their own guys, right? So we need to basically cause a collapse of this tower. Fire! Now that looks like a pretty solid shot here. Right through the door, hitting the caveman. Can we create a collapse in this ballista? Fall? Well, it'll fall slowly, I guess. Or it will bounce around very strangely because we just managed to break the game of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator again. I'd say overall, we're doing a pretty good job. We have laid siege to the enemy fortress, and we've almost taken everybody out. There's 1 or 2 archers buried here, but I'm sure they'll surrender, especially if we bribe them with blueberry cobbler. I mean, right? Isn't that something that probably people living in medieval times would absolutely love, is blueberry cobbler? But then it begs the question, what if we were to add these pretty cool castle emplacements to really awesome simulation maps? Would it look a little something like this? Oh no. Da Vinci is holed up in his castle, keeping very interesting inventions to himself. We need to learn this technology, but in order to do it, we need to lay siege to his fortress. Why is everybody creating fortresses other than the fact that they're freaking awesome, man? I mean, look at this back wall. Look at how many musketmen there are. Now, if I could only use one faction to attack it, I'd probably use the Vikings. So the enemy has $33,000, no problem. Now, I'm not sure how Berserkers are gonna do when they have to jump up over here. We're gonna want some Valkyries too, for sure. Then we're gonna want to bring in the long ships. I'm thinking those might be our battering rams to take out these walls. We'll have 2 columns of warriors led by Jarls and a whole lot of frosty boys. Now remember, as the Viking leader, I'm sure we'll suffer some losses just walking down the ramps because it's you know, it's like that. But maybe, just maybe, we're gonna be able to overthrow. Oh, one of the most effective siege mechanics is berserkers charging themselves. Who would have thought that would work? Not me. Boys, what are you guys doing? Why did half the army just decide to just, I don't know, go... Oh, come on, guys. That's not how you lay siege to a fort. But remember, Valkyries can fly. Some of the berserkers are still alive. But musketeers are a dangerous thing. We've managed to take down both of the walls. This castle's falling apart. A lot of these musket men, I think, have disembarked from the wall. They're like, you know what? I'd rather fight a Viking close up. He's got an axe and I've got a muzzle-loaded musket. This is smart idea, right? Guys, what are you doing? What are you doing with the boat? Oh my God, this poor guy's like, no, I don't want to die. Why are we attacking ourselves? Oh no. Goodbye, battleship. You fought bravely, very stupidly, but you did fight bravely. Okay, so I'm not sure if the Vikings are the faction to destroy this fortress. Something is in the wall. How come whenever we make a mod, and honestly, every 10 games that we play tabs, we find a way to break it? There's a boat in the level. Well, maybe we choose Dynasty firework arrows. Led by 2 Monkey Kings. We'll have dragons in reserve. Now, the enemy spent 33,000. I'm at just under 20. Let's go ahead and take that number over. And I think we have a decent chance, especially if some of these ninjas get in. $28,500. A lot of firework archers. Now, these guys are sent out to hopefully destroy this fortress, take out some of the snipers as early as possible. Unfortunately, the Monkey King decided to teleport inside of a tower. It seems to have worked out for him. Unfortunately, not for the Renaissance cannon crew that are on the towers. The 2 towers are destroyed. Let's see what's going on now. I think the Monkey Kings might be dead. They were limited times use, apparently. The dragons deciding to fire, and now everybody's doing that same thing. Where something here is literally breaking the game. I'm not entirely sure why or what, but there's still a chance for my Dynasty faction to storm this fortress. Come on, boys. So yeah, as you're watching this castle mod, I want you guys to be thinking about what else we can add to it. Also, I'm hoping to share it this upcoming week. Just stay tuned to my Twitter, or, you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously, because we'll announce it in a video. My Twitter link's in the video description below, but that's half the fun, is being able to share the mods and seeing what you guys do with it. A lot of stuff is still in testing and still needs to be worked out. Like, there's a few things that I like to do, like, I don't know if this is my mod's problem or the game, but I haven't seen that before ever, so I can only assume it's mine. Another thing is that the units will attack the center of the wall. Okay, I've had enough of you, sir. Yeah, right in your nuts. See you later, loser. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to recover from that. Okay, and look, the Dynasty with literally only 1 unit that's still fighting, because these guys are having a kumbaya session over here, eating grandma's chocolate peanut butter cookies. Oh my God, I want some of those. And you know what? Look at this. That's a beautiful flag, isn't it? And it blows in the wind. So, needless to say, there's a lot of really cool stuff we can do. Like, I can have rival castles on opposite hills. I can put catapults on them, or ballistas. We can put raised walls and mount archers on top of them. None of this is perfect, but it's pretty cool to think about what else can be done. So if you guys got, you know what? Open up those imaginations and think about what we can come up with next. Gentlemen, you may start your engines. Now, unfortunately, I think the catapults are a little out of range, so they're gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna try to knock this wall over. Everybody's a little bit out of range. We can fix that easy. Oh God, collapse. Now let's respawn it. Ooh, look at the little woggles? All right, boys, fight it out. The catapults still want to jump from long range, but at least they're firing, so, you know, they may fall out of their towers. So at long distances, I think the clear choice is to have a ballista, because they seem to be doing pretty well at not destroying their towers. These guys, I don't know, they want a challenge. Like, let's try to fire while we break our towers, okay? Let's do that. And this guy's like,
I'm just trying to eat my own neck.
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, totally Agate Battle Simulator scene and pretty cool in new ways. Mods, baby. It's all about the mods. Leave your mod suggestions below and maybe some updates for what you'd recommend for the castle mod. Thank you guys for watching. Give the video a like to show your appreciation for the ingenuity put into this one. And this upcoming week, I hope to have a version of this that I can share with the community. Hopefully when some of the bugs are fixed and it's in a better state. So thank you for watching. Love you guys. See you in the next video.